Hello?
Hi, is this Neil?
Yeah, speaking.
Hey, Neil, it's Candace from Q103 in Albany, New York.
Hi, Candace. How are you?
Good. How about yourself?
I can't complain.
Good. On the line right now, Neil Fallon of Clutch. Neil, thank you so much for taking a couple of minutes out of your day today to sit and chat with us. What do you got going on right now?
I'm at the mall looking for flip-flops.
Right. That sounds like something you would do in the middle of a day on a Thursday.
You know, it's the rock and roll lifestyle.
You know, flip-flops aren't going to be, worn much longer. It's about to get cold.
Well, those are, we're going on tour next week, and a lot of times we shower at the nightclubs, and flip-flops are a must for that scenario.
Oh, shower shoes. See, now that's a different story.
Yeah, well, I don't know is there technically a difference?
Speaking of going on tour, we're super pumped for you to come here to the Capital Region. We got to see you out at Rockin' Derby back in May, and now we get you, right literally in our backyard.
Oh, good. It'll be probably one of the last times we'll be coming to that area in support of Psychic Warfare. We're probably going to shut up touring after the new year and start thinking about the new record, but we're glad to fit it in there before it all comes to a close.
Yeah, new record. Let's get to that. That's exciting. Psychic Warfare, almost exactly a year since that one came out, and you're already working on a new one?
Well, we're thinking about, when we kicked around some ideas, but we write best when we kind of set aside time at home to work on it. Having said that, we'll spend probably most of next year writing and then recording it. So I wouldn't expect the next record to come out at least for 18 months. So it's not around the corner yet, but, it's on the horizon.
So we got some time to still enjoy Psychic Warfare and see the show live, right?
By all means.
This album is solid from beginning to end. It was so fun to listen to. And I watched it on YouTube. I saw that you had these really cool commentary things you did to describe your songs. Is this something you do with all your albums, or you just did it for this one?
It was really the first time we did it in that manner. We did do back years ago kind of CD extra on the Elephant Riders, but this was the first time that we did it in that manner online, kind of explaining the thought process behind the music and the lyrics.
Yeah, that was really cool. It's definitely interesting to hear where you were coming from when you were writing the song and what you felt the song was about, because, people interpret it so differently. It's
a good exercise for myself. Usually when a song is done, it's tend to kind of put it away and not think about it. And I can't say that I'm, more right than the listener. I think you're right. Music is very interpretive and subjective, and everyone's got a different version of the song.
For sure. So, A Quick Death in Texas. That video looked like you guys had way too much fun filming it.
It was. We're all grown men, but I think we enjoyed, indulging our 6-year-old versions of ourselves dressing up as cowboys.
Of course.
And, playing shootout at the OK Corral. And we got it done in a day, which was pretty miraculous, because shooting videos really isn't our favorite thing to do, but ultimately it ended up looking pretty cool.
They had you at some awkward positions. Were you uncomfortable? You had a noose around your neck at one point and you were laying over a horse.
Yeah, it was, that's not really in my skill set, to be honest, but and I had bruised some ribs a few days beforehand, and getting thrown over that horse was not comfortable, but, the things we do for art.
Right. How'd you bruise your ribs?
Falling down. Actually, this kind of brings it full circle. I was running down my back steps wearing flip-flops, and I snagged the end of one and then fell down the stairs.
Story of my life.
Like Chevy Chase.
Those dang flip-flops. We need to get you some real shoes.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So I saw that you guys recently released your first record that came out on your own record label, Full Fathom 5, on vinyl. Are you a vinyl collector?
To a degree. I mean, I do have, some vinyl records. I'd be lying if I said that's all I listen to. Most of it's just pumped through, my computer into speakers. But
right.
I think it's sometimes good to sit down and listen to vinyl, because then you're dedicating that time, because you're going to have to get up and change the record every 15 minutes. So
yeah.
It's a good exercise to dedicate some time out of the day to music.
Do you think that cassette tapes are ever going to make a comeback?
I hope not.
You don't want to, have to wind it up?
No, it's fast forwarding and rewinding is a hassle, and I remember cassettes very well. Breaking and having to unscrew them and fix them, and that might be fun in a nostalgic way, but in a practical way, not so much.
Right. I don't know if it was super fun to listen to that way, but I thought cassettes were so much more durable. You know, you could kind of throw them in your bag, and even if like a corner broke off, you could still play them.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, I remember, in the 80s, most of my friends' cars were littered with shards of broken cassette tape cases and, warped cassettes on dashboards, and they still played. So, that is true.
Yeah. So you guys have celebrated a big anniversary this year. Actually, a couple weeks ago, it was like the 25th anniversary of your first gig, right?
Yeah, it was in August of 91. We played a show in D.C., and we had done some shows together under a different name, but that was the first one as Clutch. So, and to be honest, I think we didn't really see that coming. It was just kind of, wow, it's 25 years. Have I not been paying attention? And we didn't want to, be too nostalgic about it, and we're more excited about putting out another record as a way of celebrating 25 years.
Right. I feel like that's a good way to celebrate. Most bands now, a lot of them have had, different lineup changes and, breakups and stuff in their careers. How have you guys managed to stay together so long, the four of you?
A good sense of humor about it all. I also think we reached a point when, there was many years of living hand to mouth and, questioning the viability of it. But then one day arrives and you say, wow, this is a very unique and special position to be in, that we get to make a living doing this, and let's hold on to it as a precious thing. And my favorite bands, and hopefully we're one of them, is where the sum is greater than the parts. If you change one of those ingredients, then it kind of becomes something else, and I don't think we're interested in that.
Right. Man, you guys kill it with the live shows, and you are always on the road, and I think that's one of the things that fans love about your band is that you're available. We can see you, and that's the best part about music, is watching it live. How do you juggle being on the road so much and then still having, like, a family?
Well, thank goodness for iPhones. Or mobile phones in general. It is hard, especially as kids get older and whatnot. But I also keep in mind that when I am at home, it's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I don't have to do much else other than be with my family, and that's a trade-off I think we all can live with. And it doesn't get easier, but there's plenty of other gigs where people leave home and it's not nearly as fun.
Right. So what do you do while you're on the road when you're not playing a show? I mean, like, what do you do with your time?
I think all of us kind of give each other space and do our own thing. Our days start at the crack of noon,
right?
And then try to find some place that's serving a late breakfast, and maybe once in a blue moon try to get some exercise. And before too long, the sound check, and then between sound check and the show, just either fiddle around on the guitar, read a book. That's about it. It's kind of a lot of hurry up and waiting going on.
Right, I get that. Are you more of a music thing while you're like listening to music while you're on the bus, or do you like watch movies?
I think we mostly listen to music. The TV in our buses is rarely on, mostly because no one can agree what to watch. So we just kind of default to keeping it off. And everyone kind of isolates themselves with headphones and gets into their own world. It's important to do that when you have 10 people crammed into a small space. And then after shows, we get together and listen to music and say, have you heard this band or that band? And, just kind of hang out.
Oh, well, that's cool. So let me ask you this. I saw that you wrote an article recently where they asked you the 10 albums that saved your life. If you could only listen to one album for an entire tour, what album would it be?
Ooh, it would have to be a long one, I hope.
Right. Get to know the words real well.
I'm trying to think of double albums. There's Physical Graffiti, but I don't know. Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon honestly never gets old for me. Never.
Awesome. One big question I have to ask, it's been a big debate that I've had with my friends over the last couple of years, and I've decided to bring it to work. Team cake or team pie?
Oh, pie. Absolutely.
Why pie?
The crust. You don't get crust on a cake.
I like that. That is the first definitive, actual reason that I have gotten as of yet. So we are getting really excited for the show. You're coming Halloween weekend, going to be here in Albany. And I was curious, are you guys going to be in costume on stage?
No, we're entirely too lazy for that.
So are you excited to go on the road with Zakk Wylde? Have you toured with him or worked with him at all before?
Yeah, we did a tour with Black Label a few years, maybe about 4 years ago. And it was a great tour. And this is of course, a different band, but in doing all Black Sabbath, so it's going to be fun to listen to every night.
Right.
And it's going to be a good time.
So do you get to pick who your tour mates are, or is that kind of already decided for you?
No, we decide. I mean, usually we'll get, submissions, and we'd like to keep in mind that it's about the people who are coming to the show and they want to see a good show. And we know it's icing on the cake when we know that the guys in that band are, good people and we can get along, and it makes the tour that much more easy to do. And I think that's the case here with Zach Sabbath and King.
Awesome. For anybody that may be listening who maybe hasn't seen your show live as of yet, what can they expect when you come to the Upstate Concert Hall?
Well, I think what you can expect to hear more than what you're going to see. You're not going to see a fancy light show, and you're not going to see a giant production, but you'll hear us playing the most sincere rock and roll that we can, as if it were our first or our last show, and we try to do that every night. And I think the people in the crowd are there for that reason and that reason alone.
Well, I can definitely attest to that. So make sure you get your tickets. They are on sale and available now. Clutch is going to be at the Upstate Concert Hall on October 29th. If you need any of the details, they're on our website at q103albany.com. Neil, thank you so much for taking a few minutes out of your shopping time today to chat with us. Is there anything you would like to add before I let you go?
I hope to see everybody there and have a fantastic Halloween afterwards.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Neil.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye-bye.